Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Mizzou Esports. Tonight, we're going to be watching some League of Legends game in the NACE conference. And my name is Bailey, or Beyblades, and I'm joined here tonight by Alec, or Alejandro. How do you feel? Excited to be here?
Very excited, first stream, first cast, hopefully the first of many.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited for this game tonight.
Yeah, it'll be great. Looks like we are getting into draft now, so we'll take you guys right over there. So, getting into it here, not too surprising bands. Looks like we have a Syndra and LeBlanc band from Mizzou, which makes sense from what we know about their mid laners' main picks and solo duo. And then North Texas, looks like they have banned Akshan and Ornn, which also makes sense. Jim Santomochi, our mid laner, plays a lot of Akshan and solo duo. And last week, this Tuesday, performed really well on Ornn in those top lane games. So, not too surprising there.
Gotta agree, yeah, Sento Momochi being a big Akshan player there, so like Bailey said, no surprise. I agree with the band personally. I am an Akshan hater, can say. And Graves' band, very understandable as well, as it seems two of University of North Texas players enjoy playing Graves, so completely understandable from Mizzou's end.
Looks like an Ashe first pick there, which not too surprising at all. Prefects is known to play a lot of Ashe and plays it very well in solo duo. So really good to get that locked in first pick, as a lot of the games on Tuesday, Prefects was banned out, banning Lucian and Ashe in almost every draft. So I'm sure that they are very excited about that pick. And now North Texas is hovering some jungle champs. They do play a lot of Vi and Viego, so not too surprising to see those champs hovered, but we'll see what they end up locking in. And it is the Vi, yeah. Not too surprising. Vi's been playing pretty well, I think, right now. I don't know the exact win rate is, but pretty
Can't
strong
agree.
champ.
Pretty sure Vi's win rate right now is really high, so like you said, not a surprising pick at all.
Yeah. And they've been playing it a lot too, so pretty comfortable on it, I assume. Let's see, getting in here. We do have the Belveth ban as well, so seems like they covered their bases a lot, going for jungle, top, and mid, and they do pick the Ziggs there, so that could be either mid or bot lane. I'm not certain if they had played at all in either role.
Want to say could be their mid laner, if I remember correctly. I think
Gotcha.
their mid laner plays a decent amount of Ziggs, but pretty sure I saw a little bit of Ziggs on their bot laner too, so
Yeah. Could be
good
either
flex
way.
there.
Either way. I'm not sure how Ziggs is into Ashe specifically. I feel like pretty much any AP, APC is what they call it, is annoying in my opinion. But it'll be interesting to see. And it looks like Mizzou is going to take that Viego into Vi. I'm not sure exactly how that gameplay goes, that matchup. But Viego is a pretty strong champ as well, so not too bad of a pick.
I can say I hate going against Viego myself, so
Yeah. Covering a lot of supports here, so probably a support pick. I see John shaking his head about the rel there. not too surprising. Inferno, it was a rel one trick before he started playing a bit more competitively here at Mizzou. So bit of a shout out there with the rel, but instead going to pick Nautilus.
wish there was a rel pick there, as I am a rel enjoyer myself.
Pretty good
Definitely
champ,
love
pretty good
playing
champ.
some rel.
Yeah. But, Nautilus, pretty strong. Strong with Ashe as well. Lots of CC and Engage is always very good with Ashe and Peel, too, since she
Can't
doesn't
agree.
have much mobility herself.
Looks like University of North Texas is going to take the rel. Strong
Interesting.
pick into Nautilus
Yeah.
there.
Still waiting to see if that's going to be a Ziggs, bot, or mid, but we'll see what bands they go for. Now, they can be pretty confident it'll be mid and top picked last by Mizzou here, so we will see what they end up going for on these bands. I'm not too sure what they'll end up. Okay, the Gwen.
Gwen
Not
ban.
too surprising. I find Gwen extremely annoying, especially as an AD carry. I'm usually outside of the whole Gwen is immune circle there. So, and it's very annoying for me to play into, but it looks like a Vlad ban by Mizzou. Vlad is also very strong right now.
Yes, can agree.
I'm not sure. Did their mid laner play or top laner?
Their
play a
top
bit of that?
laner is a Vlad player from what I saw, so the Vlad ban is completely reasonable, especially with his
Yes.
W being extremely broken right now.
Yeah, makes sense.
Thank Riot for those nerfs coming soon.
Yeah, very nice. Is the next patch out this week or next week?
next week, I believe,
Gotcha,
next
gotcha.
Wednesday, and that will be Split 3, we would be going into split 3.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, and we also have the Yon ban from Mizzou and the Renekton ban by North Texas. I'm not too sure what they were thinking on those bans. I believe North Texas top laner also played Yon, or was that?
Their mid laner likes to play
Gotcha.
Yone. However,
Gotcha.
looking their Yone isn't exactly on the mark right now.
Yeah.
But hey, just to get it out of the way,
It is also a very annoying champ, so
can't
not too
agree.
surprising.
Yone is broken.
It does look like they ended up picking the Ari, which I'd be very surprised if that is not mid lane. So it's going to be a Ziggs Rel bot, which is
See how that synergy
interesting.
goes.
Yeah,
Don't
interesting for sure. And a lot of AP so far. Will be interesting to see what they end up picking top lane. If it's going to be more strong front line or a strong AD champ. But it looks like Mizzou is going to go ahead and pick up that Camille for their top lane.
Camille is always a good pick for top lane, as she has just been S plus for who knows how long
Yeah.
throughout league meta right now. So very good pick for Mizzou there.
Yeah. I not a top lane player myself, but I know that when I have to play into a strong Camille, it is not a fun time.
Oh, no.
So with how well that Apex has been performing in the top lane in these games these last few weeks, I don't see that as being a bad pick for him at all.
Mizzou with the Lysandra pick for mid lane. I think that's a very understandable and reasonable pick into Ari with the amount of lockdown Lysandra has, plus how strong she is right now throughout the meta. So can't agree with that pick there.
Very strong pick. And then a Gangplank top for North Texas. I'm not
So-
sure. I know Gangplank is not always the most fun champ to play into, but I'm not too sure about that Camille Gangplank matchup for sure. I feel like Gangplank is pretty good with the range, but Camille also has a lot of mobility. So it'd be interesting to see how that ends up playing out in the games tonight. But, looking at these overall drafts, do you have any particular opinions about what you prefer?
That top lane matchup is definitely going to be something fun to watch,
Mhm.
as Camille, being a strong champ that she is, think she should fare reasonably well into Gangplank.
Yeah.
Hopefully, their top laner is caught off guard by
Yeah.
Apex's Camille. Like I said earlier, Lysandra into Ari, also going to be a fun matchup there. If Ari oversteps, easily gets rooted or ulted by Lysandra and hopefully gets shut down there. As we said earlier, too, a Ziggs Rel synergy does not sound.
Yeah,
Uh,
you typically see Rel with like a Kaisa or some strong AD champ that can follow up on those big engages. But
Yeah.
Ziggs does have a lot of range and poke as well, which is pretty good into Ashe, but not so much the Nautilus. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm also very interested to see how this laning phase is going to go. I assume the Rel is going to be doing a decent amount of roaming around the map, since
Yes,
Ziggs can
yes.
usually hold his own throughout the laning phase.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the wave clear is pretty unmatched for those AP champions.
Have to agree.
Yeah. So any preferred matchup would you say between the two teams?
Let's see. I mean, I have to go with Mizzou's team comp here.
Yeah.
Honestly, their comp seems the best. They have very good support in Nautilus, a very strong ADC in Ashe, and
Absolutely.
Viego is just broken, especially with this passive. Man,
Yeah.
you gotta hate it.
Yeah, and I've got to say, a lot of champions that our Mizzou players are very strong on. Prefect plays a lot of Ashe. Nautilus is a great engaged champ, which Inferno typically likes to play. And overall, there's a lot of CC. I mean, that cannot be fun to play against with, Ziggs doesn't have a lot of mobility or Gangplank, really. But, they do have an Ari and a Vi who can maybe work around that a little bit. So,
Right.
yeah, very interesting draft to see here. But we will be waiting on that spectator delay and taking a bit of a break before we get into actually watching the gameplay. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. right, welcome back, everybody. We are in game now, and everybody's walking to their positions. Looks like we're doing a pretty standard, I was going to say standard spread up, but no, it looks like Mizzou is going to walk together on the top side here, maybe get a little skirmish going level 1.
Nice 5-man invade on the top side. Hopefully they can pull it off on the Vi here. Flash going out, and the hook lands on the Vi. We got the Camille E going out, and that's first blood on Viego.
Oh, I mean, that seems like a pretty easy first blood there, and you get a free flash as well, so not a bad invade by Mizzou at all, and invade is always pretty strong when you have Nautilus and an Ashe. Level 1 is pretty strong as well.
Gotta agree, and the Nautilus not really suffering much by using Flash, as he has Hex Flash there, which is always a strong rune to have.
Yes, and I mean, if anything, kind of helpful to have that Hex Flash so early. Yeah, it looks like the UNT bot lane is positioning in the enemy tri-bush there, maybe to try and get something back after jungler's life was sacrificed. But Mizzou is playing pretty safely under the tower there on the bot lane, so probably not going to see anything happen there.
Yeah, I gotta say, kind of a risky play in my opinion for a Ziggs Rel, as they don't really have that much of early game power in my opinion, as an Ashe Nautilus.
For the Ashe to get take the little shortcut back to lane from there. I've got to say, that is the Faker artist game, it looks like. Pretty interesting payment there, unless they happen to have the all the skins unlocked. I don't think you even would get that one if you have all the skins unlocked, would you?
Clearly Sniper has a decent amount of money in his pocket,
hey,
so...
I mean, fair enough, I guess.
They enjoy what they enjoy.
Yeah, it looks like not too much happening this early. Does look like a bit of poke on both sides, but it does seem that both junglers are pathing towards the. Are they? Or no, they look like they're going towards opposite sides of the map there. So,
yeah.
Be interesting to see if we get any ganks here as they approach level 3.
Ziggs doing his job there, keeping Ashe and Nautilus off the wave, just wave clearing.
Pretty much what you expect.
Pretty much expected from a Ziggs.
Yeah, not too surprising there.
Got top wave going into Mizzou. Getting a good push there. Ahri with Electrocute, going for some early game damage, but pretty default rune to take on Ahri.
Yeah, and I mean, it does seem like there's been pretty even amounts of damage back and forth as both of them have used their health pots now, but we're interesting to see with this wave push up if anything's going to happen in the mid lane.
Gotta agree there. Ahri again putting on some good poke to the Lissandra, but see if she's able to do anything with it.
Yeah.
Got Nautilus walking in bot river, going through enemy bot jungle, trying to get some vision there. Vi also in top river, maybe possibly looking for a gank there on the Camille. We got Viego going for a gank mid lane, and it is successful.
Yeah, I guess I that wave pushed up there. Not free, but pretty easy for Viego to get the wrap around there and take out the Ahri this early when she does not yet have the mobility with her ultimate.
Right, and we got Viego off to a very strong start too,
yeah.
So as long as Viego stays well on the farming and just keeps going, looks like we're going to have a very strong jungler from Mizzou's side here.
Never a bad thing, really. I mean,
never a bad
junglers
thing.
have such a large impact on the game that getting those kills early can turn into early items and really help get those objectives. That is quite a lot of poke that our Camille's taking in the top lane there, but the wave is pushed up and she has TP, so potentially not too devastating as she goes for the base there.
Lissandra still pushed in a little bit there in the mid wave, in the mid lane. Ahri seems to be pathing down into bot river, into Mizzou's bot jungle, possibly looking to just secure some vision there.
Yeah, Ahri being able to push those waves in does have a small CS lead there, despite getting taken down by that major gank a few minutes ago, which is a good way to stay even as much as you can.
Have to agree. Both mid laners, however, getting some good poke off on one another, keeping it even in the mid lane when it comes to waves. Gangplank continuously getting those Qs off. Has to be annoying for Camille.
maybe a bit of trauma there. I'm expecting.
Viego possibly looking for another game. Oh, backs off. Oh, Lysandra getting the W off. Vi also mid lane. Vi getting the kill on the Lysandra. Seems like Ari and Vi both pushing on Viego into Mizzou's bot jungle. Continuing on with the push. Vi lands her Q. Camille getting close to killing GP in the top lane. GP ult goes out.
Wow.
GP gets the kill off of the Ignite.
Very, very close there. I thought it was going to be a nice solo goal there for Apex, but but it does look like Kites was able to get out away from that Vi there. It was looking pretty dire, but
very close down there in the bot
that
jungle.
move speed there, despite the sweeper, was able to get him out, thankfully. Not losing that lead too easily. I gotta say that mid lane skirmish there, it seemed like Kites just wasn't too sure whether to go in or not, and especially after Ari hit that charm, and Vi just showed up at the right time, unfortunately, and was able to secure that kill.
Gotta agree there. The Vi was just able to capitalize off of the hesitation in mid lane. Wasn't much that Lysandra could do there.
Yeah. But, only down 5 CS still, keeping the wave pretty even, not shoving it or anything, so hopefully just going to be able to play it safe a little bit there.
Looks like Ziggs is just getting some turret plates. Rel gets a reset off.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the CS lead there by the Ziggs is not too surprising. Being both an AP champ and having that TP prevents him from losing out on too much in the late phase.
I have to agree with you there. That's why I personally do not like going against a Ziggs bot, as it's literally the wave is just going to be constantly pushed into you, and there's not much you can do there.
Yeah. Just looks like Mizzou was able to secure those wood grabs uncontested, which is somewhat surprising. I'm not too sure if Vi is focused on getting some farm instead. Definitely not a bad thing, getting a little bit down, but giving away all 3 void grubs now just makes it even easier for Mizzou to get all 6 later, which always feels pretty good, at least with their champs if they're able to get pushed out later in the game.
I agree there. I guess getting 6 grubs can easily determine a game.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if UNT decides to focus on making sure they don't give up all 6 as those respawn.
It's looking like the GP is just constantly putting pressure onto Camille as well, just keeping her off the wave and just constantly poking. Cannot be a fun time for Camille there, as she did take that death early in the game too, so a little bit behind.
Yeah, I mean, that fight was so close, but, unfortunately, I'm not sure if both Ignites were dropped.
Both Ignites were used during that
fight. I can't even say it
fight.
was Ignite, they seemed like just an ultimate if they're having ults, being able to get that extra damage and slow to keep Camille away from him. Does seem like now both junglers are on the bot side, and the bot lane pushed up a bit, so maybe something might happen in bot lane, but it does seem like Ari is also slightly moving down mid, probably just get some vision.
Vi looking for a reset there after taking her bot camps. Ari back in the mid lane after, like I said, securing some vision down on bot side.
Does make sense to try and be a little prepared.
Camille constantly still being poked up by the GP. That's GP ult out as well. Camille is able to escape. That's Ashe ult out in the bot lane. Viego is also there to meet them. Ziggs ult, but ultimately falls. Rel is able to escape with the crash down.
Did use flash though, but again, has the hex flash there, so not too much of a sacrifice. And I've got to say, really great timing by Kites making the decision to be there.
Have to agree. Apex looking for a nice solo kill, and he secures it with the ult and the Ignite. But Vi, with the gank from behind the tower, secures the kill.
Sandra does TP up there to cover Vi from crashing, potentially getting some plates, but that does mean that Ari is now pushed up in the mid wave and probably going to get a bit more there. Yeah, I've got to say, again, really great positioning by the jungler being there. Maybe also a bit of a vision diff, where it seemed like Apex had no idea that I was even there to clean up that fight in the top lane.
Have to agree. You got Rel roaming the map now, trying to just secure some vision control on the top side, and now is taking a reset. See, RETP is out for mid lane. Ziggs all alone in the bot lane, but that is common as has an easy escape with the satchel charge and can just easily farm with no issue.
Does look like UNT is positioning to get those grubs like we talked about. It is definitely preferred to not give all 6 away for free, and Rel being there to secure vision is always helpful.
Yep, and Rel running into the Viego, going with a Q and a crash down. The Rel ult goes out. Ari is able to rotate up top though and secure the kill on the Viego, but Viego was able to get Rel.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I do understand in that position, it seemed like a pretty free kill on the Rel there for Viego, but unfortunately not getting that communication across to get some help by Apex.
Once again, most likely another vision diff
Yeah.
as Rel was just consistently roaming on the top jungle, and yeah, it looks like be free 3 grubs for Vi.
So they're pretty even in the grubs, which is definitely preferred for UNT as opposed to giving away all 6. Does look like both supports are trying to secure vision for that Drake that has just spawned. But Viego is definitely going to be there before Vi and be able to hopefully get some more pressure for the bot lane as this Drake spawns.
Now we gotta engage on the E from the Camille in the top lane, getting Gangplank to have health. But Gangplank throws out the Ignite and the ult on the Camille, and it turns into a solo.
That damage is just so strong, doesn't even have first item yet, and is able to just really easily secure those kills simply by using
Gotta love the
Ignite and
Gangplank
ult. So.
passive.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, and even then, taking a fight there is a bit risky with knowing that Vi is there taking the grubs. Unfortunate top lane so far, but we are still in the laning phase of the game, and one good thing I've noticed about top laners is even if lane phase doesn't go your way, it's pretty easy to just side lane and make your way back up to at least being even.
Have to agree there, and for Camille, I would say she should be able to get herself back in the game by doing some side laning and some farming to get on the same level as Gangplank. It's just Gangplank is just such a strong champ, especially with his passive, being able to just do true damage to you multiple times. And we got Viego ganking the bot lane, looking onto the Ziggs. The Ziggs ult goes out, the Rel ult goes out. Ziggs is able to, looks like he is able to escape so far.
Fortunately, Ashe just arrived. The Ashe ult did go wide there in that fight as well. Probably could have made a difference if it had hit. But really, no harm, no foul. I mean, Ashe is now up in CS, which was not how it looked like it was going to be in the early game. So it seems like across the board everywhere, except for the top lane, at least Mizzou is able to stay even more ahead.
Let's see, we got Camille trying to look for something on the Ari mid lane, but fortunately misses the E there. Gangplank is able to just push top uncontested, unfortunately. Getting some... But you got all 5 plates on tower there?
Yeah, pretty sure. And the first turret is down in the game.
Honda getting a nice W out on the Rel. The Rel is falling low, but she is able to escape with a crash down over the wall.
Yeah, and that Gangplank damage is still so powerful.
And they gotta call a target there, but Apex gets the kill on the Ari.
Do get the flash coming out there by the Vi.
Yep.
A lot of ultimates were used in that fight by Mizzou, but it really wasn't able to turn too much in their favor. I do think Apex being able to get that kill feels a little bit better, but ultimately UNT is able to secure that Rift Herald because I feel like Mizzou was just a little bit disconnected in that fight despite all moving up to be present.
Have to agree there. There wasn't really a exact target called. The Ashe ult goes out bot lane onto the Ziggs. The Viego is able to follow up and gets the kill on Ziggs.
Wow, very interesting choice by the Ziggs there to just continue pushing away instead of fighting back. But hey, sometimes you gotta respect it. Sometimes you need that grind, need that gold.
He accepted his fate down there.
Sacrificing your life there. you know, interesting choice, like I said, was also pushed up very far, so probably not too surprising to get taken down, and did secure an Ashe ult for it, so.
Yep, we got the bot lane and mid lane going for the lane swap, which is expected for mid game. Zig is now back up. We have Rel there to make it a 2v2 in the mid lane.
Does look like it'll be Ashe and Lissandra bot lane. Or not Ashe. Gangplank and Lissandra bot lane. Pretty interesting, and Vi is nearby, probably just clearing some vision before this Drake spawns and just about a minute.
Yeah, it's probably also going to add on to a somewhat difficult matchup there for Apex, having to go against the Ahri up top, as Apex really just at this point needs to get some more farm and continue to get items.
Yeah, ideally, with that turret being down, maybe the top lane will get pushed up a bit more easily, making a safe condition for Apex to get some more CS, but it does look like Ahri is backing off now, which is interesting there. Probably to position for this Drake fight.
Yep. See, we have GP continuously pushing out the bot wave, really just setting up for anything. And Rel and Vi both on the drag, or at least setting up vision for it, maybe looking for something mid lane there.
Lots of little skirmishes, little poking going on, but not really turning into any big fights. Everybody's probably just trying to play a little bit safe before the Drake spawns. Coming up soon, though, it does seem like it's an awkward positioning. You know, I don't think Ashe is going to be able to push out this mid wave fast enough. The bot wave is pretty even, but it seems like overall UNT has a bit better positioning now around the Drake as they are starting to hit it. And the Wizard.
Let's see, we've got a TP down the bot lane from Apex. We also have another TP from the Ahri. We're going to set up a little dragon fight. Hooks goes out on the Rel. That's the Rel crash down and ult going out. Vi ult onto the Viego, but Prefect is able to kill Rel. And Viego is able to shut down Vi. It's looking like Mizzou is getting this drag.
Pretty good positioning there and fighting by Mizzou. We had 4 in the river on the pit while Apex was around in the enemy jungle trying to get some good, I'm sure the word I'm looking for is, but just secure them some positioning around and hopefully get some mispositioned backline there. That Ziggs is, I've got to say, personally, do not enjoy playing into Ziggs.
Ziggs able to just do Ziggs things and execute towers, which is never fun.
But UNT is able to secure that tower. It does look like Mizzou is trying to respond by hopefully taking out the Ziggs. We have 4 Mizzou there. 2 Gangplanks there as well.
See, it looks like Mizzou is turning their focus onto the Gangplank now. That's Gangplank ult out. Rel misses Q.
And Nautilus goes down, so, you know.
Nautilus does fall.
You have to back off there when you lose your frontline Aaron Engage. You know, Mizzou was positioned well altogether there, but unfortunately, UNT was able to respond very quickly to their chasing of the Ziggs.
I have to agree, there's just some very awkward positioning for that fight being in that little choke on the top side. Vi drops Herald bot lane, gets the hit on bot tower. Vi flash goes out, but the not hook lands on the Vi, and so does the auto. Not ult goes out, and she is stunned and taken down by Viego.
Yeah, I've got to say there, I mean, we did drop both Nautilus and Lissandra ult there, while Vi pretty much only lost Flash. So, you know, it is good to get another kill over for Mizzou, who is looking even stronger with now 150 gold bounty. But it's hard to say what they can really convert this into. I mean, they got rid of the Heralds, but other than that, you know, not able to get much out of this, as nothing too important that they would want to take before Vi has respawned.
I have to agree, yes. Mizzou right now also needs to look to increase their gold amount, as UNT does hold a now just about 2,000 gold lead onto Mizzou.
Yeah, I've got to say, we're not in a terribly bad position. Ash being 2-0-3 with a pretty significant CS lead there is only going to translate well if she can be in these fights. Mid lane isn't too far off, and we're down about 10 CS. So it'll be interesting to see how Mizzou can really work in these team fights. They've been positioning and team fighting together really well so far in these games that we saw on Tuesday. So hopefully they can turn that into some good things and secure the win despite losing a couple towers all across the map.
Have to agree. They also have to play around their Viego as he is in the lead right now, and they look for the tower dive on the Ahri. Camille ult goes out, and they secure the kill under tower.
We talked a lot about division diffs against Mizzou, but I've got to say a pretty sad division diff for the Ahri. They're having no idea that Viego was right next to her as she was facing. Is really unfortunate, but helps Viego get even stronger. So we gotta see how that really plays out for Mizzou, and hopefully they can turn that kill lead into something and hopefully grow the rest of the team.
I have to agree, that was a very good pick for Mizzou, and they have now shortened that gold lead that UNT holds by a little bit.
We do have the Drake spawning in just over a minute now, so it seems like everybody's starting to position on the bot side of the map. Kites is taking some of his camps. Very interesting to watch gameplay. I'm glad we got to see that. But interestingly, Vi is positioning in the top lane, maybe looking for a pick with Vi onto Camille, but Camille's just going to back up anyway, so not going to turn into anything there, while Mizzou is able to secure some vision on the bot side of the map before this Drake spawns.
Very good move for Mizzou there. Definitely need to secure that vision on the bot side, as this Drake fight is going to be good and potentially will put Mizzou on soul point, which is what they need.
Yeah, very important, especially with this being a Hextech Drake. That is always going to feel very, very strong on Ashe and Sandra for sure. As well as those Hextech gates. I think they're always fun in the gameplay.
Not the
most fun, not as fun as the Chemtech Drake plants and things like that, but definitely not a bad Drake soul to get.
Mizzou has taken over UNT's bot side. However, UNT could be baiting a Baron pull, as they did start it, but then pulled off to look for a fight in the mid wave. Gangplank and Rel ult goes out, and Ziggs is able to shut down the Ashe. Camille being Vi ulted. Camille ult goes out, but she's ultimately stuck and gets taken down by Gangplank.
Wow, very unfortunate movement there by Mizzou. It feels like Camille kind of in a 3v5 position with Camille awkwardly behind, and the timing is just really off for them. So it does look like UNT is going to take a Baron, and instead Mizzou is going to focus on their original decision to take a round. It does look like Ziggs is taking quite a bit of damage there, and they are able to secure the Drake while they're still hitting Baron. So hopefully, while they're distracted with Baron, we can get some other objectives.
Hopefully some towers down there in the bot lane as Lysandra is pushing it out, and UNT is able to secure the Baron. Looks like their Baron bait did work out in their favor to cut down some of the numbers for Mizzou so they can get Baron uncontested. However, Mizzou is now on soul point. So this could still potentially be strong for Mizzou.
Yeah, we've yet to see a really strong 5v5 fight for Mizzou yet.
Got
wow. That Viego is strong.
wow. Ziggs ult going out bot lane and taking out Lysandra. Rel going for the crash down and missing, but Nautilus is able to help the Viego escape with a hook. Nautilus covering Viego. Sorry. Vi ult going out on the Viego. See, Viego might be able to get. Nah.
Unfortunately, does get the shutdown over to Vi there. Yeah, I really, it was a really easy pick on the Ahri, but I feel like they're probably just a bit pushed up too far, and unfortunately with that Ziggs ult coming down to Lysandra, not much you can really do about that besides flash out of it. And unfortunately, it does look like they're probably going to get both bot and mid turrets here.
very strong movements down to the bot lane for UNT, and they were able to shut down Diego and get a pick and get a kill on Lissandra.
Yeah, very unfortunate play there. Gotta say, you know, it's not too bad to get a kill for Lissandra, but is it really worth it when you lose 2 towers for it? Not sure. We do have a bit of downtime now as the objectives are not even close to spawning. You know, you had 3 minutes on the Drake and 4 on the Baron respawn. It's interesting to see if anything plays out here. Just a bit of farming all across the map. We do have pretty strong CS leads from Mizzou, except for the top lane, as we already mentioned. So, it does look like they tried to have a little sneak steal of the blue buff from Diego, but he does have Smite, which makes it a bit hard to steal unless he really messes it up.
See, 3 UNT players covering the top lane. It looks like 4 now. They definitely are trying to use out that Baron buff to secure top tower. And it looks like they are going to secure it.
Yeah, there's really not much you can do in Mizzou's position here. Try to defend the best you can, but
Ashe ult going out, and it hits in the mid lane to hit Vi. Vi ult going out. However, she gets caught by 3, and she falls to Viego. A Ziggs ult also going out, but it does no damage.
Yeah, gotta say there, you know, it is probably a smart idea to have someone pushing somewhere else, but not if they're going to get caught out like that. And, you know, with Ashe ult, not much you can really do if you be able to dodge it. It's definitely good for Mizzou to try and get a hit there, but they are still down quite a bit of gold. Hoping to convert this into a mid tower, it seems, but all of UNT is there.
Yes, and you got the GP ult going out in the mid lane to get the wave, just completely erase the wave,
Yeah.
So Mizzou has no
with
chance on getting
Ziggs,
that mid tower.
REGP, what can you really do to keep a wave standing,
Exactly.
especially if you do not have Baron buff? Not much. Gotta just have to give it over. Does look like UNT is securing vision around the drag, but that's always a hard thing about playing support is you don't want to ward too early for the enemy support just walk up and clear them all that you
Exactly.
just placed. So might be a position like that we're seeing right now. So even though they started to get that vision, not totally secured. Although they do have pretty good positioning. They have, I believe, all 5 UNT members are there, while Ashe and Lissandra are making their way in that direction.
Yep, and Ari able to get a reset off and going to go clear top wave as she can, as she does have TP up, so if she needs to, she can get into a fight with ease. UNT being able to push out the mid wave just to make securing that drag easier, as it will then divert Mizzou's attention. And Mizzou now, however, holding bot river control and maybe looking for a fight.
Might be, it could have been a little bush cheese there. That would have always been fun, but unfortunately not. It's probably not the smartest idea, but
UNT now starting to move into the bot river. 5Q going out on the Nautilus, but the Rel gets a good crash down and ult onto Mizzou. GP ult also going out. Ari being able to get a double kill. Ashe doing some good kiting, but it's just not enough as UNT is able to just clear out Mizzou and secure that ace and the drag.
man, ADC's looking strong this patch, huh? I mean, it was just like watching Ashe arrows flying and not doing any damage that entire fight.
And this is what happens when you play ADCs in every other lane but bot. They get nerfed.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like UNT was able to move together as 5, and unfortunately Camille just wasn't there to help out Mizzou. Unfortunately, I showed up a little too late. And I feel like it's always really hard to position from playing from blue side around drag. It's really hard to get into the pit.
Have to agree there.
So, yeah, it's looking really hard. I don't know, down to 10k gold now leaving their base, if there is a comeback opportunity for Mizzou.
Lissandra ult going out on herself, but it's just not enough, and she gets taken down to the bot side. Viego, however, looking for a kill on GP, but gets charmed and taken down as well. Ari being able to take out the Camille.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, honestly, where this game really went wrong for Mizzou, it seems like Ooh, maybe a little bit of
Ash
discouragement.
ult
Ash is
going
just
out, but the charm
obliterated.
does as well, and she
Yeah,
gets erased
very
off the map.
I think Ziggs and APCs in general are just very, very strong. And being down CS and not getting ahead early in lane wasn't able to convert it into a ton or keep him from being strong and be able to have a lot of impact in the mid to late game.
Yeah.
Whereas Ash, it seemed like really. I'd be interested to see the damage graphs, but it seemed
As
like
will
a lot of damage was going out, but it wasn't really converting into anything. There were a couple good Ash alts for sure. I think
Yes.
Prefect was playing the best he could in the conditions. It was really just Gangplank getting so far ahead really made a
Yeah.
big difference, and unfortunately, Viego being so far ahead wasn't able to convert into too much.
Have to
You
agree.
know, if your laners aren't able to have as much impact, then it's really hard to really secure the win, even if you yourself as the jungler are ahead, because you're going to end up losing fights and losing the objectives that you would like to have being secured as a jungler. You know?
Right, yeah. Viego was able to get a very nice lead there in the early game. However, with both GP and Vi being able to get, somewhat of a lead of their own, they did have a lead advantage there, and they were just, UNT was just able to take over the game with the amount of wave clear they have with their champs,
Absolutely.
and just was not looking good for Mizzou there, and ultimately turned out to be a loss for Mizzou.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if we didn't see a Gangplank ban in the next game. Or possibly, I've got to say, first picking the Ash wall, it does feel strong for your AD carry to play something they're comfortable on and very good with. Getting counterpicked by the Ziggs is definitely not something fun to play into.
Exactly.
So yeah, we're interested to see how this draft goes for game 2. This is a best of 3 games tonight, so we do have at least one more game coming up here soon. We are going to take a short break before we get into that next draft, though, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you shortly. Hello and welcome back to the Mizzou Esports stream here on Twitch. Tonight we're getting into the game 2 of Mizzou League of Legends versus the University of North Texas after Mizzou lost that first game, but hopefully has learned some things, and we are going to be getting in the draft here now.
Yes.
All right, so not too surprising, they have switched sides, and it looks like an Auction band from North Texas first, while a Vi band from Mizzou, which is pretty interesting. I wouldn't say that the Vi was necessarily too strong in that last game, and then an Orn band from North Texas as well.
Yeah, and then a Ziggs band going out for Mizzou as well, which is completely understandable, as if I was Prefects, I would not want to deal with the Ziggs APC either,
Absolutely not.
seeing how that last game went. The Vi ban is a little understandable, as Vi does have that capability to get into the back line easily with her ult. Mizzou also going for the LeBlanc ban, as we said earlier. The University of North Texas, their mid laner is a LeBlanc enthusiast.
Yes. So not surprising at all. And like we said too, they did not ban the Syndra or the Ahri. So I feel like it's interesting to see what Sento Momochi is interested in playing in the mid lane this game. Also looks like North Texas is going to take the Ashe away from Mizzou, and we are probably going to go for the Lucian, as I said. Prefects does play a decent bit of Lucian alongside Ashe, and I'm not sure exactly what the matchup is. I can't imagine. I mean, Lucian has the mobility to get away from the Ashe CC a little bit better.
Yes.
And has, I feel, a bit more consistent damage. So certainly not a bad pick for Mizzou at all.
Not at all, especially if Prefects is just able to get in that mode on his Lucian. I'm sure he would be able to take over the game. And Mizzou going for a Syndra pick as well for Sento Momochi.
Yeah, not too surprising there. He does play a lot of Syndra and a bit more of a consistently scaling champion, so that even if the lane phase doesn't go in your favor, you can still turn it into a win later, ever since Syndra got that rework like over a year ago, but to me it still feels recent. And then it looks like North Texas is hovering that Gangplank, which would not be a surprising pick at all. Yep, and they are going to pick it. Gangplank was very strong in that first game.
Can't agree
and, you know, it is interesting to still first pick it, or pick it blind, I should say, when you don't know what Mizzou could have as a counter under the belt.
Say, hopefully Apex is able to find a champ that he is comfortable with playing into Gangplank, so he's able to just farm and hopefully secure some kills over him as well.
Probably not going to be the Camille again, I would imagine. It does look like North Texas is going to secure that Rel again. I do think the Rel was pretty consistent, pretty strong, and definitely a better synergy with Ashe than with Ziggs, I would imagine.
Can't agree there. Lots of CC being able to be put into the bot lane there. And Mizzou goes for the Gwen pick, which
I do not remember if that is going to be a top or a jungle, if that is something that Kites or Apex plays more often off the top of my head. But, you know, Gwen is a very strong champion. Like I mentioned, I find Gwen very annoying to play into personally. I'm not sure exactly like what her state in the game is, but, you know, consistent AP damage, very good mobility. So I can see it being good either way. Although I'm not sure how Gwen would be in a Gangplank if it is top lane. I feel like having that Gwen is immune. There's an ability name. To me, it's just Gwen is immune. I feel like would be pretty good to get out of some of those tricky situations with the Gangplank.
Especially with his barrels.
All in his barrels for sure. Yeah.
See, I'm pretty sure once Gwen is able to get those first two items, she'll then be a formidable opponent to anyone throughout the game.
Yeah, for sure. Does look like we're getting the Melio ban from North Texas because, you know, Melio Lucian is a pretty strong lane this patch. Not a Nami ban, though. I don't think Inferno plays that many Enchanter supports anyways.
Not that I know of.
But, you know, Melio is very strong, and I wouldn't be too surprised from a Nami ban just because Lucian Nami is always strong.
Yes.
On the Mizzou side, though, we do have the Ahri ban, like we said. I'm not sure if Ahri is a counter to Syndra, and knowing that their North Texas's mid laner plays Ahri, maybe that's why they went for that. as well as the Jarvan ban from Mizzou. I feel like the North Texas jungler does play a bit of Jarvan, so not too surprising there as well.
Yes. I think with the Ari ban there, it's just the idea of immobile mage versus very mobile mage.
Yes, yeah. Yeah,
Ari
makes
would
sense.
easily be able to get on top of Syndra there as she does not have much move speed. She does have her E, her push, but with Ari ult,
Oh
be
yeah,
able to just go right back
dodge
in.
it and yeah,
Yes.
or just get right back on top of you. It does look like North Texas decided to ban that Nami. Like I mentioned, Lucian Nami is always very strong, but we know Inferno does not typically play those Enchanter supports anyways, and he does pick up the Braum, which very strong pick, I've got to say. I'm a Braum supporter myself. I say Braum is OP. That passive is really, really strong and really
Extremely
plays
strong.
well with Lucian as well, being able to get
Yes.
those multiple autos with his passive. So I can really see that synergy being fantastic with Lucian Braum. Not sure
Yes.
particularly how it is into Ash Rel, but this is probably going to be a bloody bot lane if I could predict it
I
myself.
can agree there. I always say that Braum is a sleeper pick because he is always forgotten,
Yeah,
but once you
he's
go
just so
against it,
strong.
you are not happy.
I mean, I'm very very close to one tricking Braum to get in my ranked games. I mean, it's just so strong, and people, I gotta say, guys, I'm in low elo, so people in low elo just aren't used to it. They don't expect it. I mean, you see a lot of like Enchantress supports in low elo,
Right.
so. Additionally, looking at these other picks here, we do have the Sejuani, most likely jungle, and Yon, most likely mid.
Yes.
So this is a very AD heavy team by North Texas, which is kind of surprising.
Can agree there, yes.
So, but they do have very consistent CC as well. So, looks like maybe a high five here. Unfortunately, since Mochi might be ignoring kites there a bit. um, Always a little awkward, but talking to those Valorant players is a little more important, I gotta say.
I guess it is.
Oh, and Inferno's getting ignored too. This is the craziest donut wall I've ever seen. I mean, come on, guys, let's get this synergy together before our game. All right, back to the draft here. Like I said, very AD heavy team there from North Texas, which will be interesting to see. I mean, I feel like Braum and Amumu are both very tanky champs. They can
Yes.
build, I mean, just build Thornmail and some armor, and
Literally.
there's not much you can do there.
And
But also, North Texas has so much CC, so.
yes. And in my opinion, Amumu is just extremely strong right
Oh, yeah.
now. I'm sure he's going to build Leandries, which is
Yes.
going to. Leandries is also just a busted item on Amumu right now.
Yes.
It's absolutely insane. And with Amumu, though, there also is a lot of lockdown for Mizzou.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of CC on both sides. Amumu, Braum, Syndra, and conversely, you've got Ash, Rel, Sejuani.
It is
maybe
going
a
to
lot
be.
of Frozen champions on stream. We'll see.
It is going to be a very bloody battle when it comes to these team fights. However, Mizzou does have more range when it comes to damage per se with the
Yes.
mix of AD and AP.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I think this might go into Mizzou's favor
Yeah.
as they really just have to build armor and maybe a little bit of tenacity if they can, and I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I've got to say, I mean, if Braum's going to be on a team, it's going to be my favorite. So, no question there for me. But especially, I feel like if North Texas had gotten just one AP champion in there, their comp would have looked a lot better. Especially with the mid lane last pick. Maybe Yon is a super strong counter to Syndra, but I feel like.
Possibly Yone. Sure, it could be somewhat easy for him to get on top of Syndra as she does suffer from immobile mage syndrome.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see how landing phase goes. Hopefully, Sento Momochi is able to just play safe and farm and hopefully get some good poke off
and I mean,
on the
that's
Yone.
scaling too. I can't see that
Exactly.
going poorly. So, yeah. So after looking at these drafts, we've got a little bit of a spectator delay before we get into those games. So we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be excited to see how these drafts play out on the Rift. All right, welcome everybody. Oh my gosh, welcome back everybody. We are now on the Rift here. And you can see everybody going out, and our prayers were answered in chat. We do have a pool party from here.
Thank the
Ooh.
gods.
Most important part, honestly, of getting into the lobby here is really appreciating that, I gotta say. And, you know, interestingly here, we have both ADCs do have cleanse. Like we talked about, both teams have a lot of CC, so really not surprising picks there. Again, we see the Gangplank with Ignite as opposed to TP, but both mid laners have TP, and then the Gwen has both Ignite and TP. So we are going to have a lot of interesting positioning around the map,
Yes.
utilizing the ability that they have those TPs, but also probably some strong fights in top lane with both of them having Ignite up there.
Can't agree there. And both teams going for a 5-point there to start, except for the Gwen, maybe looking for a quick trade in the top lane, maybe get some early damage off on the Gangplank, secure a lead.
Man, this is one of those times you gotta wish we had the manual spectator, so we just focus on Braum, really. Sorry. There we go.
Let's see that Braum again. There we go.
But yeah, you know, I've got to say that is pretty good mindset to have when this is a best of 3, knowing your opponent and knowing how they're going to play and being in a position to get some poke off up in the top lane. When you know you really want to try your best to be ahead when you weren't in the previous game.
Right.
Definitely doesn't feel bad.
So we already got some early game emoting as well from UNT. That would personally make me want to beat them more. However, Mochi is laying out some good poke onto the Yone in the mid lane, especially with a first strike start as well, which is always good for Syndra, and usually my favorite Syndra skill, which is Coven.
Yeah, lots of back and forth in top lane, as to be expected. Does look like the junglers are having a little bit different pathing. We do have Kites up on the top side, while Sejuani is on the bot side of the map to start. So we'll see how they continue to move across, if they're both going to move towards mid. We know Kites likes to gank mid. Did it last game pretty early. But yeah, interesting to see how his laning phase is going. Maybe a little skirmish here on the top.
Yep, Gwen going into her mist there and able to get some decent damage off on the Gangplank. Honestly, I would say a very good pick into GP there, as she can dodge that barrel damage with her mist, I believe. Got the GP Ignite and the Gwen Ignite going out, and it looks like GP is able to capitalize on it and get the first blood.
You know, both down flash now.
Nice little skirmish in the bot lane as well, with Prefects and Inferno getting decent amount of damage off on the Ashe, pushing her to have health.
But yeah, it looks like both top laners are now down on their sums. And, you know, that is one of the really unfortunate things playing in the Gangplank. It looked like Gwen had a bit more poke, but you can just heal that right back up.
Exactly.
Is it orange? Is that what it is?
I believe it is an orange.
Okay. He's a pirate, right? Scurvy or something? I don't know.
That's the very goofy Gangplank passive where
Yeah.
you can just deal true damage to you, I think is ridiculous.
Yeah. So, you know, unfortunate start in top lane, but definitely not over.
Kite's looking for a gank on the mid lane there, able to lock down the Yone, get some good damage off. It looks like it could turn into a kill, and Yone gets the flash out, but he also E's. And it looks like Yone lives.
Very, very close there, and unfortunately, Amumu did flash in, but Yon also flashed away, so small trade there.
Very good trade there in the mid lane.
So yeah, and Syndra is up quite a bit of farm, and that gap is only going to grow.
I have to agree that Mochi is doing a very good job on spacing the Yone and dishing out lots of damage while also farming. Gwen going for a trade there on the GP, but GP is just strong after getting that kill.
Yeah, you know, like I said, I feel like Gwen is definitely probably a better matchup than Camille in the Gangplank, because I know so much about top lane. But, you know, it's really hard to say
Have to agree there.
how this lane is totally going to go.
Kite's looking to give Apex some breathing room in the top lane. help him get some farm going, and Kite's able to. Oh no!
That, I do think maybe a little more support would have been preferred.
Yeah.
Top lane there, especially with Grubs coming up here soon. With the wave already pushed up so far, I don't necessarily think that gank, if you can call it a gank, is that useful. But it doesn't look like Sejuani is focused on the Grubs. Looks like they're moving more towards the Drake. With Yeon moving behind her into the bot side jungle there.
And we got a bot skirmish going on right now. With it looks like bot lane for Mizzou kind of wins that skirmish again with Ashe getting very low. They almost secured it.
And, Braum just, again, so OP with the shield there, stopping most of the Ashe Q damage.
Looks like we have a fight going on in Mizzou's bot jungle. We got GP ult going out, but the Yone ult goes out as well, and they are able to secure the kill onto the Amumu. Lots of damage going out onto Yone with Braum Ignite going out, securing the kill. Both cleanses going out, and Sentomomochi is able to secure the kill onto the Ashe. Prefects makes it out with the hair of his life.
Little skirmish there in the top lane, and it seems like Apex is going to survive the Ignite. They're very, very close. Gangplank having to use his ultimate for that fight that we just saw in bot side jungle really kept him from being able to secure that kill, but it looks like Sejuani does burn flash to yet again clean up one of those skirmishes in the top lane like we saw in game 1 as well.
Yep.
And moving towards Grubs, it seems.
Definitely a good choice to take that fight there by the Gwen and use her ult on the GP to secure that kill, but Sejuani was just there in time, like you said, to clean up, and looks like Amumu is able to look for the Drake, however, since Sejuani did show top.
Yeah, definitely not a bad trade. We talked about this a bit so far, whether or not, I feel like giving up first Drake is not too terrible, and as long as you're able to secure the second set of Grubs and not give all 6, it's definitely not too terrible to give up the Grubs as well. I'm not a jungler. I'm sure there's debates about which is preferred, but personally, I don't think it's a bad trade for either team.
Have to agree there. Both teams being able to secure their respective objectives.
I do think that the biggest advantage here to having the Gwen as opposed to the Camille last time is Apex is staying pretty even in CS so far. So hopefully he'll be able to have a bit more impact in the mid to late game, even if lane phase doesn't go in his favor.
I agree there. With Gwen having her miss, it does make it a lot easier for... Oh, we got the Sejuani using ult under tower, and GP is able to secure the kill onto the Gwen.
It does feel unfortunate. Feels like every gank that Sejuani has had on top lane has gone a bit more in UNT's favor than the ganks that Mizzou has had. It doesn't go forward well.
Mizzou is looking for that 4-man dive, and they secure it. However, Ashe is able to get a kill onto Kites due to tower damage.
I don't think it's too terrible of, 2 for 1 there when there's no objectives up currently. And Lucian is able to secure a very strong CS lead, being 2-0-2 is really good for this early game, and get a bit of those plates on the bot tower. I'd say it's pretty worth it, especially since... was the 4 in the bot? Was it Syndra as well?
Yes, Syndra was there.
Syndra really hasn't lost out on anything. Still has a CS lead as well.
See, Gwen looking for a nice fight there in the top lane. Uses ult, but GP flashes away and survives.
Definitely not too terrible of a trade. I don't really see how Apex can secure a kill without ultimate, unfortunately. But... correct me if I'm wrong, I'm fairly certain that Flash CD is a bit longer than Gwen Ultimate CD. So, hopefully, as the game proceeds, she'll be able to turn that into a kill later on when the Ultimate is back up. or potentially have a more successful gank with Gangplank not having any mobility to get away from the stuns.
Can't agree there. And now this allows Apex to get some more farm in the top lane and make his presence known there. GP ult goes out. GP does use his ult on the top wave. Make sure Quinn doesn't get any more plays.
But, you know, not too far behind in CS, like we said. Does have 1 kill under her belt. So definitely, I think, in a better state than she was last game. And overall, Mizzou's only down 100 gold so far. So better than the, I believe, 2,000 they were down close to this point in game 1.
Can't agree there. Let's see, Sejuani looking for another gank in the top lane. And it will be successful once again. Sejuani is just so tanky.
Yeah, I've got to say that's really frustrating with that CC there. Gangplank is still down now both stums and no ultimate. So, and with the wave push up this far, I don't think it's totally impossible to make a play top for Mizzou and hopefully get Glenn a little further ahead.
Right. Ash did use ult going towards the mid lane, maybe trying to help Yone secure a kill, but it did ultimately miss.
Yeah. It's one thing with those global ultimates is when they hit, it's awesome. But a lot of times they go a little stray there. So, looking now at the overall state, you got Drake up in about a minute. Bot lane is pushed out, but in the favor of Mizzou, but the mid lane is pushed in. So,
Sejuani looking for another gank there. Oh, Setomomochi almost securing a kill on Yone, but it just was not enough.
Kites is there for the cleanup though. Does end up using the Mumu ult on the Sejuani. I don't believe she had a shutdown or anything, but I feel like this taking the second set of grubs, I believe, is a bit easier for Mizzou, especially with the bot lane being mid. Although they may, I think the waves are just going to crash in the middle there on the bot wave. So not losing out on too much and hopefully securing that second set of grubs. They don't give all 6 over to UNT is definitely good.
I agree there. Very good move on Mizzou's part, although Syndra did ultimately fall in the mid lane. Yone TPing up top to contest the Gwen, making sure she doesn't get too much of a presence up there. You really don't want Gwen to get too much farm, as like I said, when she's able to get 2 items, she gets pretty strong and annoying.
Yeah. Yet again here though, we do see Sento Mochi being left to deal with a Gangplank in the bot lane, as they did last game as well. I feel like Syndra having that range, being able to get some poke, maybe a little better, but probably gonna be pretty much a standstill. I'm not sure if either will be able to get that tower in the bot lane, but both teams are positioned pretty well now here for the Drake.
Can't agree there, and yeah, with the range difference there in the bot lane, Syndra will have an easier time dodging Gangplank barrels, which is always good. And Mizzou is looking for an engage on Sejuani, forcing her out of the Dragon Pit, which is strong. Yone looking for an engage there on Braum. Interesting choice. Ashe ult does go out and connects with Amumu. Lots of damage going out on the Rel. Rel is taken down. Gwyn is able to get there. Amumu is able to get a kill onto the Sejuani. Now looking to put more damage onto the Ashe. However, Ashe is able to just continuously slow and auto the Braum down, but Braum ultimately escapes. Decent.
Yeah, I've got to say, it looked like Mizzou had really turned that fight in their favor, but the Ashe damage is really strong there, even with Braum E.
Definitely.
Interesting here. I don't think they can collapse against Ashe. They're being so healthy.
Exactly. Ashe does have way too much health there in that fight. However, Amumu is able to get a good engage and ult off on both GP and Ashe, but both of them were able to cleanse it. Braum falls to Yone. Yeah, that Ashe having Bork is just very strong and just takes down those tanks.
I mean, I've got to say, the fight looked like it was kind of Mizzou's favor, but they just took too much damage to be able to take the Drake, and they probably should have just backed off at that point. Unfortunately, deciding to go back in on the Ashe. I mean, that was a good Mumu ult, but she did have cleanse. and the rest of her team was already back
Right.
to be able to support her there and keep her alive. So they are able to take the Drake and Rift Herald here away from Zoo because of that fight going their way.
Exactly. Yep. UNT is able to just secure that Herald with no contest, unfortunately.
Does seem though like Mizzou is not too far behind, only 1,000 gold right now, and have only lost the turret top, I believe, or maybe are about to.
I think it is gone. Top tower is gone.
So definitely not too much lost just yet from Mizzou. We do have a bit of time now. Hopefully it's going to keep some lanes pushing out. Maybe they'd be able to get the mid or the bot tower position well, but UNT having that Herald does give them a bit more ability to take something away from Mizzou.
Right. And hopefully Lucian is able to keep his lead here and just continue to farm in the mid lane with no contests. But it looks like Ashe is gaining she is gaining CS there and is about equal to Lucian.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it looks like perhaps they are going to collapse in the center of mid, but I feel like she might just be able to space and get out with that CC. Does have a Mumu and Braum there with her as well.
Syndra luckily does have vision, and Lucian attempts to ult and kill the Ashe, but Ashe arrow goes out and foils his plan completely.
Yeah, definitely would have been close if Ashe ult was not up. Does look like we are positioning mid there for UNT. I'm interested to see where they decide to drop this Herald, because I feel like it really could go bot or mid right now. And Mizzou's kind of just following them around, trying to make sure that they can foil their plans.
Right. Syndra did move up there, up to the mid lane to see if there was a fight going on, and takes a lot of damage from the GP. Gangplank does ult to push Syndra off, but Amumu does go down there. He ults. Sejuani is able to meet them down there, and so is Yone. Amumu is able to secure the kill onto the Gangplank, but Yone and Sejuani are able to clean up the Amumu, unfortunately. Double kill going onto the Yone there.
Yeah, I was really unfortunate play there with, Tice deciding to focus Gangplank really hard to get that shutdown. Means that he left his teammate behind to die.
Right.
And get with that Sejuani ult. It feels like whatever Sejuani does, wherever she puts that ult, it does really secure a kill for any one of her teammates. So it does look like Inferno's just waiting in the bush here. They are going to take the tower anyways, though.
And it looks like it could turn into a... Lucian is down there now to help Inferno, but it does turn into a bot tower being taken by UNT.
I will say Gwen being able to take that tower top really sort of helps the situation. She is now even in CS with Gangplank. So although Mizzou did lose that tower, I don't think they lost too much. Still down 2,000 gold now, though.
Yep.
So it is hard to say what their game plan is moving forward and how they're going to be able to turn this game in their favor.
I agree there. If anything, probably will be looking to secure some bot side vision as Drake is coming up in less than a minute. However, UNT could try to pull another Baron bait like they did last game, but I guess we'll have to see there.
Yeah, they are all positioning, moving towards the Gwen on the top lane, I believe.
Could be looking to do a tower dive and get a pick off on the Gwen, and could amount to a Baron. Gwen almost able to escape though, but just gets locked down, and she is ultimately taken down by Ashe.
Yeah, I mean, really good movement there by UNT, all moving together to get this top tower, while they know Mizzou is focusing on this drag spawning soon. Perhaps they were just willing to give the drag to Mizzou, though. It doesn't seem as though they are really worried about it when pushing that top lane.
Right, I mean, Mizzou is focused on the drag. However, now Braum and Syndra are up there to contest, and now UNT is able to win. So
I will say that is something that Mizzou learned from the games on Tuesday, to not just focus everybody on the objective and give up their base. So it is good that they sent not just one but two team members up there to help protect their base there.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like UNT got much else out of it other than that kill on Gwen in the top turret. So Mizzou's really not prevented from going to secure vision around Baron. And hopefully keep UNT from taking that too easily.
Right, when it comes to towers, UNT did push Mizzou down to inhibitor towers in the top and bot lane. So
Does look like Gwen is side laning here again though, was able to get one of the towers in the top lane a little bit earlier, but Yona's there to match, so I'm not sure how far this push will go.
she is able to secure a bot tower for the team, which is always good.
Does seem like some positioning though now on the top side of the map from both teams. Not really sure if anybody's considering a play for Baron now. I will say, I mean, we haven't seen a super strong 5v5 fight yet in this game, and I do feel like Mizzou has very, very strong team fight with Braum and Mumu together. It's just some really great synergy. But also you have the Cinder Ash combos from UNT. So really interesting to see if there does end up being a large fight. How that will go, as I feel like that will really see how the fight will really turn for either team.
I agree. It looks like now UNT is starting to clear vision on Baron.
Do start tanking it a little bit, but I don't think they meant to start it. And Mizzou's just going to go ahead and place a pink ward there to re-secure a little bit of vision.
Right, Sejuani now is looking to engage onto the Braum. She ults him, and it looks like Ashe ult does go out, but misses. GP ult is going. Yone is able to get onto their team with an ult, but he gets stopped. Is now back. Gwen is in their back line. He is able to clear out both Ashe and Rel. However, Lucian falls to Sejuani, and Gwen is able to get a triple kill.
That was amazing team fighting there from Mizzou. You know, it really looked, honestly, as a person who plays a Mumu that myself, with all 5 even team members on top of each other right there, I thought it was going to be a beautiful Mumu ult. But with that Yone ult pulling into the back, it looks a little dire. And Lucian off the side was a little bit sketched, but he was able to reposition behind his tanks, behind his team, and stay safe for a little bit. He did end up falling, but able to get a bit more damage before then. And ultimately, that Gwen getting a triple kill there really made that fight go well for them.
Gwen using her movement to her advantage and getting into that back line and clearing Ashe. Very, very strong play from Apex there. Yeah,
and I mean, ultimately that got them the Baron, which really helps them defend their base, and hopefully they can turn it into taking some more of these towers. It seems like they're all going to push mid, but the Ashe is bot. Looks like Gwen is going to respond there. So could be interesting to see what Mizzou does with this advantage. They do also have Drake spawning here in about a minute and a half. I can't imagine they would want to give that up for free.
A close game now so far with Mizzou now gaining a gold lead as well off of that Baron fight.
Yeah, I think it all comes down to now how they use this buff to their advantage, and if they can have another really good team fight to really secure the win. It's still pretty close now.
Ashe does use ult to try to look for a fight there, but misses and is pushed back.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, Ashe, those goal ultimates are just really dependent on them being able to hit, and if they miss, not much you can really do, especially without the Sejuani being there to CC as well.
Right.
Yeah, looks like everybody's kind of positioning around mid lane, not necessarily an ARAM with Gangplank being bot, but yeah, I think they're all really looking at this Drake, looking at how they can position well for it, while not losing their advantage. Unfortunately, UNT is going to keep Mizzou from getting that big tower though.
Right, it really looks like to me UNT, they want to fight. They want to fight there to see if they can get another close to team wipe and regain the early game lead that they had.
It does seem like a sort of a smart play there to keep pushing out the mid wave, forcing Mizzou to back up a bit and respond. But they really aren't losing their control over Drake that much. It'll be interesting to see if they try to do the same thing they did before and push for that top tower while Mizzou takes the Drake. But again, they have 3 of Mizzou teammates this time responding to their appetite push.
Exactly. Big Q&E from Syndra there, being able to clear out the Ashe. However, she is caught out by the Yone ult, and Gangplank is able to secure the kill. Gwyn, once again being up there, able to cut down their tanks and push Rel off. Now focusing onto the Sejuani. Now going to Yone. Let's see if they're able to pick up something here, and they are. Possibly Braum passive going off on the Yone, but ultimately secures the kill on the Braum, and Gwyn is able to kill Yone there. I'd say a 2 for 2, I believe.
Yes, yeah. I think, you know, Syndra died very early. Look, there was a skirmish between the junglers here in the mid lane.
Right. Plus, Amumu was able to secure the Drake by himself as well.
And that mid tower while they were distracted. I do feel like he's going to fall here, though.
Taking a decent amount of time to kill the Amumu there, but Ashe is able to secure it.
You know, I mean, Mizzou, I'm not sure if they still have that Baron buff. I would assume it is gone now, with the Baron respawning in 2 minutes. But they're able to keep those waves pushed out pretty well, regardless. Yeah, I mean, they're really just starting to grow this gold lead even more in the favor of Mizzou. But I don't think it's a confident win just yet. I think they have to maybe get an inhibitor from UNT, and maybe getting this next Baron spawn, on spawn, or a little bit after spawn can help them secure that.
I agree that UNT is just doing a good job at defending their mid lane, making sure Mizzou is not able to push it out, and very well matching whenever Gwyn or Syndra split pushes.
Yeah. I've got to say, though, in that last little skirmish there around Mizzou's base, I mean, Lucian was able to take out the Ashe so quickly, and I think that really made a big difference. But on the other hand, Syndra was kind of just melted out very quickly as well. And not having that consistent CC there from Amumu, or that really, really strong damage that we've seen from Gwen in that fight, it's probably what made them lose a couple teammates.
Exactly. Sejuani and Yone both looking to collapse onto the Gwyn. Sejuani did miss ult there, and Ashe did ult and stop Braum from getting there, but Gwyn is able to take down Sejuani in time. Yone is able to escape from the Gwyn.
Can I just say that Gwen healing? Oh my gosh.
Hey, you gotta love Gwyn passive.
Crazy. Yeah, that fight, you know, I think it is very fair and very understandable that UNT would try to make a push on Gwen when she was alone, but I think they would just push up too far.
Can't agree there.
And having to use their flashes and ultimates to get out instead of getting more damage off really doesn't seem to go well in their favor, as there will probably be another big team fight, at least within the next 2 minutes with the Drake spawns.
Especially with a lot of the CC there missing the Gwyn during that fight too. It was not looking in the favor of UNT, as Gwyn was at 3 items at that fight, which she is strong now.
Yeah. It does look like both teams are now positioning for this Baron. Not surprising at all. I gotta say, I think if Mizzou gets aced and gives this Baron, their base might get destroyed pretty severely. And alternatively, if Mizzou is able to secure this Baron, they can hopefully get some waves pushed out and hopefully secure an inhibitor themselves. So this is a very important objective and fight for them to, I don't think they necessarily need to take it right away, but just make sure UNT themselves doesn't get it.
Right. Now we have 4 of UNT's members moving on to the Drake. And Mizzou just holding the line there and pushing them off. It's like UNT was really just clearing the vision on the Baron. Gwyn looking for a short trade there on the Yone, getting him back.
Yeah, I do think it is pretty smart to have the Yone there, since their Gangplank does not have TP, just to make sure that Gwen cannot push up too far. I do think, Syndra also having TP, if they can have multiple people side laning, hopefully help Mizzou keep that pressure going and forcing UT to sacrifice one of their teammates to keep them off.
Right. And Gangplank is just sitting top lane right now, most likely clearing waves, but he's just not moving.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't like Mizzou is able to really shred this Baron too. He does know they are there. Gonna drop the Gangplank ult, but Kite's out. Smash is able to smash. Oh my god, Smite, and is able to secure it.
And it is a easy Baron secure for Mizzou, with Drake now up, so they can go and respond to UNT. Hopefully Gwen does not get caught out here. However, it looks like she might. There's a lot of CC being layered down onto her, and the Zhonya's goes out to dodge the Ashe ult. Very good Zhonya's there, and Mizzou is able to catch up to the Ashe, to the Gwen. Gwen being able to eliminate Rel. Lucian being able to get rid of Ashe, and Amumu getting rid of, it's a win for Mizzou in that fight right there.
Yes, absolutely. It is unfortunate that Prefects did fall there, but they still have 4 Barons. I feel like this drag is very free. They're taking, hopefully Gwen will, help secure the borders, keep them away. And once they secure the strike, they've got to secure something with this Baron before it expires.
Right.
Especially having the team NACE there. Doesn't have Gwen is going to push the mid wave. And hopefully the Prefect is up. If somebody just moves with him through one of these lanes, they can definitely get a tower and hopefully an inhib.
I agree. With Mizzou now claiming Cloud Soul and having Baron buff, it should make it significantly easier to be more dominant in the lanes and secure more towers.
Absolutely. I think that was -2 there. Unfortunate that we panned over to see that. Sorry, couldn't just ignore that. But yeah, I do think one of the things that Mizzou struggles with, though, is when they have a team fight really go their way, when they have a lead, they need to convert it into something to actually secure the win. So hopefully they can take this and actually secure something with it. Does look like they're going to have at least 3 in the mid lane and 1 top right now. But Yon is pushing the bot wave and has TP, so not sure if they're just going to let that go unchecked.
There's something there. Lucian ult going out, but he is stopped once again by Ashe ult.
If I was that Lucian, come on. Second time now. So close to securing the kill on that Ashe, and all she has to do is press R and stop you.
Unfortunately, Braum was not
I guess just
in the
dodge
way.
it. I don't know. Oh no, you're right. Support them. Who am I kidding?
Wow, Gwen being able to match the Yone and ultimately take him down looked very easy for the Gwen there. Momochi being able to take down Rel as well. Looks like she was just out of position there.
I definitely think, UNT there, since they don't have Ashe and since Young just fell, they really couldn't take a fight and had to just back away, but unfortunately that means they lose 2 team members to Mizzou.
Wow.
Braum blocking that Sejuani ult was just perfect. I've got to say.
We take back the support there.
Just kidding. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic play there from Mizzou.
Wow, they are really taking this lead and running with it, just like we said. It's something that they struggled with on Tuesday, but they really seem to have learned from that and are trying to
finally Lucian ult being able to stop the Ashe.
Ashe ult finally down. You can get that and secure the kill.
And it looks like Mizzou is going to be able to take a lot here. Looks like they might be able to take multiple towers, but Rel is able to stop the Lucian. Amumu now catching Yone, but is stopped and taken down.
I really think that is one of the unfortunate things is playing Amumu or any type of engaged champion like that. A lot of times when you go in, it's easy to forget about your teammates that are behind you and maybe not moving with you. I don't know if it would have been possible for Mizzou to completely end the game there. They didn't really have a huge wave. They didn't have a lot of teammates there with them. but your AD carry falling that easily and that early is definitely a little hard and prevents them from being able to take that many towers.
Right, and Mizzou being able to secure a Nexus tower as well is very big for them, as now UNT has a lot more to worry about.
Yes, I mean, we just saw at the LCS finals a few weeks ago, having an open Nexus can be very dangerous. So it'd definitely be better if Mizzou could get that second tower. But we'll see a little skirmish here.
Skirmish, and it looks like they are closing down on the Braum. Could secure into a kill, however Mizzou is there. Braum does fall to GP, unfortunately. Gwyn throwing out the ult and just cutting down Yone, forcing him to retreat.
You know, I think maybe UNT is trying to position to his Baron that's spawning in 50 seconds, but Braum is going to be back up by then. And also, while Braum is very helpful for the team fights, unless they can get a pick on a Amumu.
UNT looking for the engage onto the Amumu. The ults go out there. Yone also looking for engage, but is taken down by the Amumu. Gwyn is now in there cutting down their tanks, instantly taking down Sejuani. Now being able to get on top of the Ashe, cutting her down, and
yeah, like I said, no shade to Braum, no shade to supports. But, you know, as a support Braum player myself. But, you know, in a fight like that, I think that using, I believe they use at least 1 or 2 ultimates there to secure the kill on their support before the buff and Baron is even up. Yeah, I mean, getting ace there was just what led Mizzou to getting the win.
good win there for Mizzou, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that was some really solid gameplay. I do think Mizzou was probably playing a little bit safe early on and making sure that they really secured their lead before they overstepped, which was very important. You know, they didn't feed or anything. And honestly, they just had a really, really strong team comp with a lot of synergy, were able to play well together, get a very strong lead once they finally had that 5v5 strong team fight, like I mentioned. Especially that Gwen getting so strong, I think definitely helped them win the game.
Gwen was definitely a good pick into their gangplank there, as she was able to CS much more easy, and just
except for those 2 that we saw miss, but
hey, we didn't see any of that.
Nobody clip it.
But yes, Gwen being able to farm as well as she did and getting to that 2-item power spikes just took off from there and was able to take control of the game by just cutting down their tanks. And very strong and successful game there for Mizzou. Yeah,
and I've got to say, I think honestly what UNT really could have used in order to secure that win was just having some AP on their team.
Right.
I mean, I do think Sejuani having that CC and being so tanky got them a lot of kills early, but Yon really wasn't super strong or super impactful. So when they got down to those last 2 picks, I think if they could have made the decision between one of them being an AP champion, I probably would have picked the Yon to instead be an AP champion myself.
Right.
But yeah, overall, I think, like we said, Mizzou had a very strong draft from the beginning and really used that to their advantage and played very well together. So because of that, we are going to a game 3. So it's very interesting to see what they end up picking, what bans we see come out. Is there anything you think they will end up banning?
Well, at this point, now that they know that Gwen is able to take down the GP, they could keep GP open for them. However, UNT might look into banning Gwen again like they did game 1. Right. So Apex will have to look into another top laner most likely, unless they do ban out the GP as well. And then they're able to look for a good top matchup there.
It is hard to say. I do think they'll probably want to ban Ziggs again, Mizzou.
Yes.
So banning, Ziggs, banning GP, you kind of run out of leaving some of their one tricks open, or some of the champs they play very strongly in solo duo. Maybe don't want to leave those available.
Right.
So it'll be definitely interesting to see. Like we said, we'll be going to a game 3. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you very soon for that once the draft is ready. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Mizzou Esports Twitch channel for Game 3 of University of North Texas versus Mizzou tonight. We had some pretty interesting games 1 and 2 here. We are 1-1 for each team right now, but Mizzou really had a great game in Game 2, so hopefully we see another great show out here for Game 2 as we are loading into the draft now.
Have to agree their game 2 was very, very strong for Mizzou, and it looks like going into draft, Mizzou does first pick the Zigs. They can flex this year between bot and mid. Looks like Mizzou has also banned out Vi, LeBlanc, and GP, which we did say, and UNT decides to ban out Akshan, Orn, and Belveth.
I think same first 3 bans they've done the other 2 games as well, right?
Have to agree there. I think so. See UNT securing the Jarvan 4 pick. Very good lockdown there. Not a bad champ with Jarvan.
Yeah. It's interesting to see here Mizzou is kind of playing the tactic that UNT did to them in game 1 now that they have first pick. With that Ziggs that can be flexed either mid or bot. We did see Jim play it mid on Tuesday, so I wouldn't be surprised if it goes mid again. But we will see what they end up picking as we move forward. They are going to secure that Gwen. Not surprising
Not surprised at all.
But it'll be interesting to see if the UNT ends up having a counter pick for the Gwen.
Right.
I know that their top laner does also play Graves, which I assume has a similar matchup to how the Gangplank matchup went, being able to just have that invulnerability to the autos.
Right.
So also the Lucian. So I do think the Ziggs will be mid, like we said.
Yes, so very strong first 3 picks there for Mizzou and UNT being able to lock in Jarvan and Rel. So already showing lots of CC and lockdown for Mizzou.
Yes. Not sure what they're so happy about there. Darius hover. Very interesting. I can imagine that Darius will be pretty strong into Gwen. Being able to have a pull so that she can't move away from you, being able to do most of your damage inside of her invulnerability.
Right.
I can't say that Apex looks too happy about the Darius pick. Not too upset either. Not like this. I'm doing the emo. You can't see me, but
UNT banning out Braum.
How could they?
Unfortunate ban there. We wanted to see
it's
pool
so
party.
Broken, but come on. And not too surprising since they did pick Rel again.
Right, and plus 3 melee champs into Braum does not sound fun for UNT, let's be honest here.
But we do know that Caden has some other strong engaged champ picks, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he has something else under his belt to play into that Rel that is still very strong. As a Rel main himself, I think he probably knows better than anybody what he can play into that champ and be strong. Interesting to see here, though, with the Jarvan. I do believe UNT's jungler does play a lot of Jarvan. So I'm not too sure what Mizzou's game plan is to pick into that champion.
Right.
And there's the Amumu ban as well. I think 2 of the strongest champions from Mizzou's lineup last draft. So not too surprising that they have been taken away. But I do think it's good that Mizzou was able to secure the Gwen and Lucian, which were also very impactful in the last draft. So.
Yes, especially with UNT here starting off just 3 melee champs. They are getting rid of Amumu and Braum is smart. And we got Mizzou going ahead and banning Syndra and Seraphine. See, in my opinion, if I see J4, Rel, and Darius as a support, I would be thinking Renata would be strong into those 3.
Renata ult is always great for getting some more peel on your AD carry and having some more safety there. Looks like UNT is going to pick the Orianna. Not sure what that matchup is into Ziggs.
Interesting pick, as Orianna has been out of meta for a decent amount of time so far, and I don't believe she is super strong right now, but we'll see if UNT's mid laner is able to do something well with this Orianna here.
Yeah, very interesting. Just like Mizzou is going to go the Alistar. We did see Alistar Lucian lane from Mizzou on Tuesday. That was very, very strong. So I think a good pick. And honestly, I have not played Alistar or Rel myself, but I feel like Alistar being able to do that, the headbutt thing, the knockback, whatever that's called, into Rel whenever she tries to engage would be very strong.
Yes,
That is how I imagine the matchup going.
Alistar is a very big counter to Rel as he
Gotcha.
just completely negates her engages with his headbutt
Gotcha.
and his knock up too. And that knock up is going to be huge in these team fights
Yeah.
with, like I said, you pick 3 melee champs. Kind of going to suffer a little bit there.
Yeah, absolutely. And looks like Kites is going to take the Wukong, which is a very comfortable pick for Kites and something he is very strong with, so not too surprising at all. Not entirely sure how that plays into J4 specifically. And it looks like we have the Hui for UNT, so Ziggs versus Hui bot lane. Very interesting. 2 long-range AP champions. It'll be interesting to
Will
see.
be Hui versus Lucian.
Oh, Lucian. Sorry.
No.
All over the place. Yeah, so God, Hui is a very strong champion, especially in the bot lane. Another APC sort of situation. I am not totally sure on how Lucian will play into Hui. He is definitely shorter range, but has more mobility compared to the Ashe we saw into the Ziggs in Game 1. So hopefully that goes a bit better for Prefects and for Mizzou overall.
Right. I think Prefects will have a decent time into the Hui, though, because since Hui does kind of suffer from immobile mage syndrome, especially in the early game there without his E, whatever it is, one of his 11 abilities that he has.
Yeah, the one that's like the river, it's like moving river and you go fast, that one, you know.
So hopefully Lucian will be able to, Prefects will be able to take advantage of the Hui there, especially in the early game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with Alistar being able to have so much CC as well, as long as they are able to dodge Hui's CC and his fear, I feel like they will fare well within the laning phase.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking at these overall team comps, do you have any particular opinions on which one you prefer?
Once again, I think Mizzou has a very strong team comp here with Gwyn being able to chop down their tanks once again. As long as Gwyn is able to play safe in that early game, as Darius does have that advantage over her. So hopefully we see some good plays and just a lot of safety from Apex there in the laning phase.
Yeah.
And once we get to mid-game and we get to those big team fights, Wukong will be able to just unleash all that CC onto their squishies, and Lucian and Ziggs will be able to take advantage of that. And honestly, I think Mizzou takes it here.
Yeah.
I think they have the better team comp.
Yeah, these are 2 very unique team comps, I would say. You don't see a lot of these lanes or a lot of these matchups very frequently. So it'll be interesting to see really how these play out. But I do agree, Mizzou seems to have a much stronger team fight champ. And for what we've seen of Mizzou so far, they do team fight together very well.
Right.
So I do think some of these matchups may be very hard for Mizzou into UNT's lineup, but hopefully they can make it out of the laning phase, playing safe, and can get some really good team fights off in the mid to late game and secure the win in Game 3.
Agree.
Yeah, so that's all we've got for the draft now. We do have a bit of a spectator delay, but we will be back shortly to actually see how this plays out on the Rift. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Rift Mizzou fans. We are out here now loading in. Be interesting to see if we go for another 5-point on both sides, and it looks like we are.
I am shocked it is an Oriana APC.
Yes,
not
so
Hwei.
yeah, not the pick we expected. We definitely expected that the Hwei was going to be bot and Oriana mid.
Yes, that's. I feel like Hwei APC is definitely seen more
Yes.
than Oriana, but
Who knows? Could be a sleeper pick. I'm not sure if the UNT AD carry has played Oriana bot lane a lot. Maybe that's why they feel comfortable with it. But yeah, definitely interesting. Definitely interesting setup here as well. Does look like Prefects decided to go for the barrier on Lucian this game. Not too much you can really cleanse, so makes sense.
still think Lucian will have that movement advantage over Oriana for sure now.
Yes. And this time, though, does look like UNT has 2 teleports on the Hwei and Oriana. Oh, unable to clear that ward on top. Gonna be vision diff early, I can sense it. But yes, having 2 TPs instead of 1 this game might make a difference for them, although having TP on your carry is not always as impactful as having it on one of the solo laners.
Right.
Early poke there from Darius. Not too sure if it'll turn to anything. Does look like he popped his pot already. I don't think he was that low HP, but
Looks like he was expecting more of a trade there,
Yeah.
but Apex knows better and backed off.
yeah. I do think after these first couple of games, Apex probably is a bit used to how the UNT top laner plays a bit more, and can hopefully know how to play safe in their advances.
Right.
Wow.
Let's see.
That is some Lucian damage there.
Mizzou
does die to
hitting
Ignite.
that level 2 advantage there in the bot lane and able to secure the kill
Really,
onto
honestly,
the Rel.
not too surprising. I cannot imagine that Oriana or Rel will be very strong early, whereas we know that Lucian, Alistar can. So
Right. I would say towards mid to late game, sure, lots of ult combinations there with Jarvan, Rel, and Ori, but this laning phase could be pretty rough for UNT. And Gwen off to a little short trade with Darius. Makes it out of it decently well, but that Darius passive is ticking her health
yeah,
away.
again, not a top lane player, but I just Darius always feels so strong. Unless they are actively sprinting it, which sometimes Darius players do. It feels really hard to know how to counterplay that passive. I mean, we saw Gwen's insane healing in the last game, so maybe that can work towards Apex's advantage. But as far as his early laning goes, does look like Jarvan is around, but probably just going for that crab. Other way, Apex was out of there, so nothing likely to happen there.
Looks like Darius is going for a freeze there onto Apex. Unfortunate. Will make Apex's laning phase a bit harder there.
Yeah, I think this is something that Apex is seeing quite a bit of so far tonight.
Probably.
So, thankfully, he does have teleport and is able to get there quickly. Also, just noticed he also has exhaust, which I feel is probably much stronger into Darius as opposed to Ignite in order to sort of stop those advances.
Especially with Darius having Ghost, which is always a nightmare to see and go against.
Yeah, so, and Flash, definitely not necessary on with dashes every 2 seconds.
50 or
I don't
50
actually
million
know what it is,
dashes.
but that's what it seems
Her
like.
immunities.
Yeah. Does seem like quite a bit of poke going back and forth in the mid lane here. Not too surprising with these champions. Honestly, feel like that's going to be pretty just back and forth all lane phase.
Pretty much going to be the mid lane there.
Yeah, so.
Hwei holding a decent CS lead over.
I was going to say much more spin in spot lane and the fan player. I already knew what I was thinking.
Gwen getting a lot of decent damage out there on the Darius, looking pretty good. It does look like Kites looked for a gank there onto the Hwei, but got feared away.
Yeah, again, we've seen Kites go mid lane early quite a few times so far tonight.
And Inferno looking for nice short engage right there. Prefects getting a lot of damage off on the Ori.
I've got to say, I genuinely, have no idea how this lane phase is gonna go. I feel like an Oriana just
It looks like Inferno is mainly just getting Rel out of the equation, making it easier for Prefects to get on top of Ori. They're taking advantage of that immobile mage syndrome for sure.
already pretty large CS lead for Prefects there, and I can only imagine it growing as the game proceeds.
Right, the Ignite going down from Inferno to keep Ori off the way. However, she is staying.
Yeah, very interesting that Rel chose back there while Oriana stayed. I feel like in that situation, especially since she has TP.
Looks like Jarvan is looking for a gank, but he was way too late as Apex was able to get the ult off and the exhaust and finish off Darius and secure the double on the Jarvan.
Definitely, I think that exhaust really helps Gwen secure that kill on Darius. I mean, even if he has ghosted and flashed in, or maybe he flashed out. Unsure there, I was too busy yapping. But regardless, getting both sums out on your enemy top laner, and sure, you're down that exhaust, but it's probably going to come back up before his ghost, or at least at the same time as his ghost does, so.
For sure, very good fight there from Apex, and Rel looking for a gank there on the mid lane, but walked into tower and took a shot and just backed off.
I've got to say, very interesting gameplay we're seeing here from UNT so far.
I agree.
Already over 1,000 gold lead for Mizzou, but it doesn't like have a really good positioning to secure these reps.
Does look like they are going in for grub control, but the Wukong gets in and is able to knock everybody up. Alistar stopping the Rel, as we said. Kite's being able to take down Hui as well.
Did they get one of the grubs there, or none of them? Unsure.
Did not see the icon. But that was a...
Oh, unfortunately not an execute there. I assume that's what he was going for. Yeah, I was going to say interesting play by Kites to face check the bush there when he knew that Rel was nearby. He probably assumed that they were on the grubs as they have. Ooh, wow. Amazing
good
combo.
Engage there from the Alistar with the Lucian.
I just am still kind of confused by the Oriana bot pick into
As
Lucian
am I.
Alistar.
I do not think this is going to work out in UNT's favor.
Very interesting. All I can imagine is that they play a lot of the Oriana and felt comfortable with it, but still interesting draft for sure.
The Gwen ult going out onto the Darius, dishing a lot of damage, and it looks like Apex is close to getting the solo, but Darius just makes it out. Probably single-digit HP.
Not having flash means you cannot secure that kill, but he is going to miss a lot here as he does not have TP. She's going to be able to get multiple plates for free.
Right. That was a very good fight there from Apex to push the Darius off.
I'm happy that we were getting a game here where we can see just how strong Apex can be in the lane phase compared to these last two games. I mean, we saw he was very powerful on Ornn, and I'm sure that's why they've been banning it in these games tonight. So, very fun to watch and cool to see.
I agree.
I got that Nashor's Tooth now, so pretty big damage spike as Darius is nowhere near building that for a second.
Yeah, you get Gwen off to a start like this, and the rest of your game is not going to be fun.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, across the board. Actually, not too large of CS leads other than bot lane, but I feel like Mizzou is pretty far ahead.
Both teams are now looking for dragon control. Looks like Jarvan and Hui went to go clear some vision, and now Jarvan is going to go ahead and reset there.
Yeah, it seems like they're taking it a bit slower this game. They're not, rushing for any of the objectives right on spawn like they were in the previous games. I think now that Mizzou is in a position where they're pushed up in all their lanes, they can kind of choose to go at whatever pace they would like, and really just secure whatever they want to the best of their ability.
I agree. They are able to get this drag uncontested now.
That was very sweet. Mochi there. Only taking one of the gummies, giving the rest to Prefects. Just some great teammates, great teammates there against him.
Let's see, Apex looking for an engage on the Darius. Darius does pop Ghost, but Apex is just too
Exhaust
strong.
is broken. I think
Exhaust.
he needs to nerf exhaust. No, I mean, having that item gives a very strong lead for Gwen, being up now over 10 CS.
Jarvan just stalking and gets the ult dodge. Let's see if Apex, Apex gets shut down.
Took the time to emote, honestly, could have gone that.
Alistar looking for a
Also
good
out.
engage on the rail there. Lucian ult does go out, and it looks like the Ignite doesn't secure it, but Wukong might be able to. Wukong stops the rail, and
Amazing team coordination there by Mizzou, but I mean, I do see now the Orianna. I mean, having the shield stop the Ignite from killing, so obviously
that is true.
that makes it such a strong pick. I'm sorry. Jokes aside, having Lucian go in so strong and so hard, but having Ziggs ult and Wukong there to back him up really secured that double kill in the bot lane.
Exactly, and Darius now going bot, maybe to look to clean something up, but he is just way too late.
Bit of an interesting lane swap. You typically see swaps with mid as opposed to top and bot, but not something that's too uncommon.
Right. So yeah, now you have Rel moving up to top lane through the top river, but Gwen is expecting it. And is TPing bot to go match the Darius. Maybe looking for another solo kill. The Gwen ult does go out and just chopping him down. Darius flash is out. Let's see, UNT is looking for a big engage onto the Ziggs, and they secure it.
I understand the engage there, but you do lose Jarvan's flash.
Right now, UNT looking for another engage onto Mizzou. Hui just being shut down by the Lucian. Wukong also shutting down Jarvan. And looks like this fight is going into Mizzou's favor here.
I mean,
Let's see.
gosh, this Orianna just not able to match the damage of the Lucian in these fights, really making a big difference. And because Darius did die in the bot
It
lane,
also, it looks like Apex
while
did
we
get a
were
solo on Darius in the bot lane.
looking away. So we did lose Sentomo Mochi in that fight, but Mizzou was still able to really turn it in their favor in other places. Not look like they're going for the grubs though. In the meantime, I don't think they necessarily need to take them. I still am unsure. This is the second set of grubs for sure, and where the amounts of grubs have ended up. If UNT got one of them with the first set, or none of them.
Looks like Jarvan is on them now and has started to secure the grubs.
But it
And
seems like Mizzou has just really good positioning in 4, all close by.
see, it looks like Jarvan took one and then just left. So
Pretty fair to make sure either you don't give all 6 or you at least get one of them for your team. If not 2, if you got one earlier on. I would assume since you made that play, you're not. Just to make sure that you don't give all 6. But honestly, at this point, it is looking pretty dire for UNT. I'm not totally certain what they could do to work towards winning the game, especially since we already talked about how strong Mizzou's mid to late game team fights will be. Looks like they're opting to try and pick off his Ziggs at any opportunity, which I don't see really going in their favor.
Jarvan did try to engage there, but the satchel charge came in handy, and the Alistar looks to engage onto the Orianna, and the Lucian ult does go out, but it just doesn't do enough damage to clear Orianna out.
Gotta say with the Essence Reaver there, Lucian does have a good amount of damage, but unfortunately not really going to be able to cut through that Rel's armor just yet.
Right. Jarvan now starting up on Herald. Gwen was able to secure bot tower as well, and they are just taking over UNT's bot jungle.
I mean, this Drake is going to be extremely easy for Mizzou to take unless they seriously overextend, which we haven't really seen them do at all.
Right. And then you have Hui and Ziggs top. which both of them do have TP, and Jarvan is able to secure the Herald. And Wukong is on the Drake now. Assume securing it. Let's see, Jarvan is up top looking for a gank. They do engage Jarvan, and Hui ult rolls out, and they secure the kill onto Ziggs. But Sentomomochi is able to get a kill out of that onto Jarvan.
You know, I do understand Ziggs is not ahead like the other laners are. Ooh, looks like a
Quick tower dive onto the Orianna. Lots of CC layered onto the Lucian though, but it just isn't enough. And Lucian is able to secure the kill onto the Ori.
Unfortunately, it does have to be a 1-for-1 there, as Rel did show up.
But luckily, Rel was the one to secure the kill. Did not go into the Ori, so Ori will not be unlocked.
But yeah, like I said, interesting decisions from UNT to sort of focus on ganking with Ziggs multiple times now after they secured the 1 kill, but then lost to their teammates. So it is interesting since he's definitely not as strong, but as he is working towards, is it an item? Second item, the Leandries, I assume? Possibly
Yeah,
Darkrai?
Ziggs is trying to get Leandries.
So we'll definitely be more strong soon. Ever since they changed the item and what they look like, I definitely struggle to remember what is what. But we'll soon have that item, and really only down about 16 CS on the way.
Right.
But still much more impactful in these teamfights so far with that global ultimate, or near global.
It's Mike here. Let's see, you got 3 of UNT, Rel, Jarvan, and Hui going bot side to try to match the Gwen. Jarvan does ult, but gets nowhere with it. And Mizzou is able to get down there to help the Gwen, and it looks like they're going to secure the kill onto the Rel.
Yeah, beautiful positioning by Mizzou there, going to follow up because of this repelled spawn into their Gwen. But unfortunately, Darius and Orianna are able to push lanes pretty much for free because Mizzou is otherwise occupied.
They're still looking on the engage onto Hui. Hui does flash out, but it looks like they are still able to get on top of him and secure. Jarvan tried to escape, and he is able to flash out. He does escape. Alistar did break the spear. Wow, the Orianna ult does stop the Alistar engage. Looks like she is close to escaping. Darius is there to assist her, but she still falls to Sentomomochi. Darius getting lots of stacks off. His ult does go out, and let's see, Alistar and Wukong do fall during that trade.
You know, I think this is, it seems like maybe an engage there on the Ziggs then.
It looks like they will be able to secure the
Does
Ziggs,
have
Flash, and the Archangel staff.
Unfortunately, no ultimate though, as he tried to use it to secure the kill on Orianna a few minutes ago. Or not a few minutes, probably a minute ago, if I'm being generous. Yeah, I do think Mizzou kind of feels like an unstoppable force right now. They can kind of go anywhere they want on the map and secure at least a kill, maybe dropping a few of their own teammates in the process. There is only about a 4,000 gold lead right now, so not as large as you would expect, but I would assume they would try and get a couple more objectives with both Baron and Drake spawning soon to help increase that gap.
Right. Thankfully, Ziggs did have that Seraph's Embrace as well to save him from that encounter with Rel and Darius. That shield is always big.
That item's balanced, I think.
So we love Seraph's Embrace.
We didn't talk enough about how that Zhonya's was so balanced in the on the Gwen last game. Really, I mean, sorry, call back to last game, but both of those items really just providing some security and safety for AP champions is always going to feel good.
Yes, definitely do agree there as a AP champion enthusiast.
Yeah, but it seems like both teams seem to be positioning around the top side of the map in mid lane right now. Not sure if either one's commit too hard to a fight. I can't imagine that UNT would want to possibly
Do
get a
have
hit.
3 mid, Rel looked for a flash, shattering strike, and ultimately missed. Failed engage there from UNT, but the Alistar does go in and knocks up the Jarvan. Rel is going on the engage onto Lucian. Takes a decent bit of damage, but too much armor right now.
Yeah, I mean, in that fight there, Lucian does use ultimate, but almost everyone on UNT's team does not have flash now. I mean, and we talk about now, we know that UNT's team fighting is not the strongest, so it would probably be in their best favor to not go for a 5v5 right now.
Yeah, and right now, Mizzou is doing some great zoning in the mid lane and allowing the Wukong to secure the drag while Jarvan is just stuck in top river. This is very good movement here from Mizzou. Very good plays.
Yeah. I can't imagine they have any interest in trying to take the lane right now either. Doesn't look like they're maybe going to push the top wave as a response, but like I said, Mizzou can kind of go anywhere and do whatever they want right now, it seems.
Yes.
And they're moving together very well, too.
Yeah, it looks like there's a possibility. They're trying to catch Tokwe, but he is able to back in time. Yeah, the Ziggs ult goes out, unfortunately.
Unsure where they are.
Hits air.
I can't imagine Ziggs ult has that much of a cooldown at this point in the game, though, so not too much of a sacrifice, especially since the other team is looking Baron right now. That could potentially be used for steal.
Looks like right now Mizzou is just doing a good job in trying to secure that top vision for Baron.
You know, we talked about this on Tuesday, and I'll bring it up again. Those crabs are just OP. I mean, being able to clear all the vision in a big sweep like that, as a support, I ping it every game.
Rift
Please
Scuttle.
take this.
Rift Scuttle was a great addition.
I mean, you're throwing if you don't prioritize it. I mean, we always talk about prioritizing Scuttle crabs, but Rift crab, come on.
Looks like UNT could be looking for a little engage here on the Ziggs, but kind of falls short. Nope. Jarvan is able to get an ult off, but Ziggs does have Zhonya's, and Mizzou is able to follow up, securing the Jarvan. Lucian and Alistar able to secure the kill onto Rel. Very good movement from Mizzou here. Lucian ult going out onto Orianna, and she falls as well.
Yeah, wow. I mean, we really talked a bit about how we thought these lanes were going to go, and I've got to say, they did not go how we anticipated, and a large part of that is because Orianna was bot instead of mid. Somewhat confusing pick still,
I have
in my
to agree
opinion.
there, honestly.
Please, anybody in the chat, enlighten us if Orianna bot is, you know, some mastermind pick, but Lucian happens to be a really strong counter. But Lucian was first pick, so I don't know why they would have done that anyway.
Right. Just the easy Baron for Mizzou here.
Yeah. Also, the Darius and Gwen, I thought was going to be much worse for Gwen, but Apex is just very confident on this Gwen. So
clearly, yeah. And Apex pulling out the exhaust as well onto the Darius seemed to has worked wonders.
Yes. Everybody take notes.
The Flash and Ghost going out on Darius, trying to secure the kill onto Ziggs, but falls so short as Alistar is able to follow up.
I don't understand what UNT's obsession is with killing Sentomomochi 6. I mean, I understand he's probably the least mobile champ on Mizzou's team, but he's still very mobile and been able to get out and turn the kill back on them every time they attempt it.
If anything, they're just handing the Ziggs, you know, a lead there.
Yeah, he did not start out with the lead at all.
No.
I mean, you know, sometimes you try your best and it ends up being an unintentional.
Wukong flashing in and going for the engage, completely erasing Hui, getting rid of Jarvan and the Rel, all three just being deleted.
I mean, that is beautiful team fighting, he said, that Mizzou was going to have shown in full force here and allowing them to secure this inhibitor and probably more as these respawn times are making up for a lot now.
Exactly. This was for sure just looks like an easy game for Mizzou right now as long as they continue with their strategy of sticking with their coordinated team fights, and it looks like they're going to secure a lot out of this this base raid.
I mean, there's really not much that you can do in these positions since Orianna and Draven are just so weak.
Exactly.
Does not look like they're going for the end, though, as Inferno, Kites, and Prefects are all pretty low below half HP there. and there is a Drake spawning up in less than a minute.
Looks like Jarvan is trying his hardest to catch up to Mizzou, but just falls short and gets slowed to oblivion. And the Alistar goes in on the engage and secures a kill for Mizzou. It was like they're just walking into Mizzou at this point.
I do understand trying to get something for your team when you know they're pretty low, but just getting so much poke from Ziggs and continuing to win, probably not the best decision from Jarvan.
Exactly. Darius is securing a decent amount of damage onto the Alistar, but he is just too behind and gets demolished by the Lucian. Very good plays from the Alistar there.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say Mizzou is really just, they know just how strong they are as a team with their team fighting, and picked a comp that really played into those strengths, and you can see that coming out really beautifully for them. Kites did have a fall there.
Yeah, it looks like he did get a little over-ambitious and tried too hard to chase the play. But, I mean, at this point, Mizzou does just
have
have
so much damage. I don't think they need Smite.
more than a 10,000 complete, I believe, here. And another fight starting in the enemy bot jungle. It looks like Mizzou is just too strong and forces them off. Alistar once again going in on these great engages. Quinn is able to erase Hui. It looks like they're going to be able to take down the Rel, and they secure it. This might be game.
Yeah, I mean, Jarvan is up. He's a bit stronger than Darius, but
Jarvan does ult, but just too much movement on this team. I meant to say this, but I mean, this Jarvan ult does just completely get negated with you when you have Gwen, Wukong. The entire team just jumps out of that Jarvan ult. It just gets completely negated there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, the first pick Jarvan by UNT, probably not the best choice for them. I'm sorry, I can't move past it. I'm still so shocked by the Orianna bot
as
pick.
am I.
I mean, maybe it was just getting late for them. They were a little sleepy and decided to pick some fun choices.
Yeah, that second game definitely, it seemed like it broke UNT's spirit and just allowed Mizzou to just walk over them in that complete stomp of a game, in my opinion.
I mean, I think a good portion of it was not a loss at Champ Select, but just some interesting choices there that definitely made the game harder for them to win.
Exactly.
And they still, because of that, weren't able to pull out a win. So overall, though, very great gameplay from Mizzou. I mean, beautiful team fighting, and they picked great comps to highlight that those team fighting abilities. So, yeah, I mean, what would you say was the highlight of these games tonight for you?
That game 3, just that cooperation, that collaboration from Mizzou there, it was just fantastic in my opinion. Those team fights, they had everything down packed. They had their target priorities just down packed, and they really did seem unstoppable in that game 3. It looks like that game 1, it was just a warm up. They were waking up.
Yeah, for sure. It turns out sometimes maybe GeoGuessr isn't the best warm-up game. Sorry. But, you know, for me, I'd say the highlight was probably that first 5v5 fight in Game 2 when they had just the really good combination of ultimates from Mizzou. And I think that was really the first step for them moving towards that win.
Right.
That gave them the confidence to really work with these really strong team fights that we saw throughout the rest of the night.
I agree.
So yeah, some really amazing games, and thank you all so much for tuning in and watching these games. League of Legends will be back next Tuesday if you would like to see us again playing. I'm not sure if the team that we were playing has been released yet, but it will be part of the NECC conference. So tune in then. I believe there will be also some other streams. The schedule will come up after we finish yapping here. But yeah, thank you, and we'll see you all later. Have a great night.